Chapter 13 Angry Part 2. The Korin Xena Chronicles possess a variety of traits beyond combat. These include Sage's Brain, which enhances overall intelligence, Dwarven Touch, which increases the likelihood of crafting outstanding items, to Merchant's Eye, which identifies potential money-making opportunities. There are numerous traits whose usefulness outside of the game is uncertain. Being a veteran player, I know these minor traits that most users are unaware of. However, now it's not a game, but reality. It's unclear how and to what extent these minor traits apply in real life. Remaining currency, 8 gold coins, 10 silver coins. A significant amount of money, yet insufficient to buy something that could be helpful in the practical skill evaluation to be held on Friday. Weapon Expert. Price, 20 gold coins. Sword Expert. Price, 20 gold coins. Remaining currency, 8 gold coins, 10 silver coins. If only I had even one expert level trait, I could hold my own. But with insufficient funds, it feels wasteful to buy an expert level trait. Weapon Expert is not a higher level version of Sword Expert. They do stack. Of course, if you're using a sword and had to choose, you'd pick Sword Expert. Master level traits are the perfect upgrades of expert level traits. If you have a few expert level traits, you might be able to aim for around the 50th rank, but the top 10 is impossible. To graduate with excellent results, at least 2 master level traits are needed. Even if not insurmountable powerhouses like Neek and Peel, those currently in the top 10 ranks already have at least one master level trait. And most of them are named characters. Many will survive the later academy disasters. Huff. Is there no other options? No matter how low the weight of this practical evaluation, I'm currently at risk of expulsion. I must win. Ralph is a formidable opponent for me now. The gap is too large to overcome by just raising 1 or 2 stats. I need something revolutionary. While looking through the shop window, a trait caught my eye. Observer's Eye. Price, 7 gold coins. In the game, it was a trait that didn't have much presence other than helping the protagonist to follow the dances of nobles. However, the noteworthy point is, it can comprehend not just dances, but also other movements. Could it be? Wouldn't it be possible to mimic swordsmanship as well? But Observer's Eye has many more limitations compared to other battle-related traits. Firstly, one must directly witness the movements of the opponent. As Noctur has admitted, my swordsmanship is not particularly skilled, but it's not too shabby either. In this game, the longsword is a minor weapon. That means, there are not many people to learn from. Secondly, it merely assists in understanding movements. One has to internalize it oneself. The head might understand, but there's a high chance the body won't follow suit. Neek, the protagonist, is a genius, so he was able to mimic it instantly, but I might not be so fortunate. Nevertheless, I am going to take this trait. The probability is extremely low, but who knows, this body might unexpectedly have a knack for imitation. It seems like a good idea to test it out first. So, who should I learn from? Definitely not from Neek or Peel. In the current route, Neek's main weapon is a spear, while Peel uses a rapier. Even if they were to pick up a sword for the first time, they'd still be better than me. However, they are geniuses, and they're not particularly good at teaching. It'll be like, it's easy when you do it this way, why can't you? Moreover, Peel despises me to the extent of calling me an idiot. She won't even bother to teach me. How about Professor Mari? She seems like the most helpful character. In this game, her main weapon is the longsword. Being a current hero and a professor, she should have better swordsmanship skills than me. But she is a fair character. In the delicate situation with practical evaluations just a few days away, she wouldn't indulge in one-on-one tutoring with a student. Plus, my slowly improving reputation would take a hit. Neither Amy nor Aisha. Amy is skilled, but she is an assassin at heart. She is not the type to engage in close combat. Aisha's main weapon is a bow. She doesn't use a sword. So, the only one left is... there's just one person. A person who uses a longsword in every route of this game and whose skills are exceptional. But she dislikes me. Would she be willing to teach me? I don't know. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Either I get beaten to death by her, or I get expelled and die because I can't complete the main quest. Either way, death seems inevitable. The following morning. As per usual, Irene climbed aboard the carriage. Subsequently, her gaze naturally drifted towards the rear seats. As anticipated, in his usual spot, he was there. But he isn't reading a book today? Theo, maintaining an indifferent expression, was peering out of the window. Although she didn't show it, Irene felt a sense of emptiness. Just yesterday, he had invited her to sit down. Of course, she could have just gone and sat down, but Irene, possessing a strong sense of pride, stood silently, stealing glances at Theo. Then, Irene. Theo turned his gaze to her. Instead of a reply, Irene looked back at him, widening her eyes slightly. However, no additional words came from Theo. He just slightly bit his lip, staring back at her. After a moment, his mouth opened. I have a favor to ask. Yes? Irene felt both puzzled and curious. Until now, she had never heard the word favor come out of Theo's mouth. What could possibly make him so unusually tense? With various thoughts swirling in her head, Irene approached Theo. As soon as the lecture ended, I hopped onto the carriage. My destination wasn't the exclusive training ground of the hero department, but rather the practice area open to all students within the academy. When I asked Irene to teach me swordsmanship, she agreed, albeit with a somewhat complex expression on her face. I was truly relieved. Frankly, I had expected her to refuse. It was only natural for her to dislike me, and Irene is the top student of the night department. She is not only extraordinarily talented but also puts in a great deal of effort. There was no reason for her to waste her precious time on me. However, I decided to bring it up anyway, and to my surprise, it worked. The next stop is the third training ground. I repeat, the next stop is the third training ground. Please ensure you have all your belongings when disembarking. Lost in my thoughts, I arrived at the training ground. Compared to the hero department, the entrance to the training ground looked somewhat shabby. It was still early for dinner, and the inside of the training ground was quiet. Several long corridors led to various training areas. Among them, the place where I agreed to meet Irene was the swordsmanship training ground. Creak. I opened the door. Huff, huff, huff. There she was, clad in a training suit, swinging a wooden sword into the air. She must have arrived quite a while ago, as a few droplets of sweat were trickling down her fair neck. Whoosh, whoosh. With each swing of the wooden sword, her long, violet hair tied back fluttered. Name, Irene Aslan. Gender, female. Age, 16. Race, human. Affiliation, Ilania Academy Night Department / Aslan Baron House. Strength, 10. Stamina, 10. Mana, 8. Tenacity, 10. Traits. Knight's Path, passive effect / bloodline ability, view details. Sword Expert, passive effect, view details. Weapon Expert, passive effect, view details. Mana Control, passive effect, view details. As expected, she is at the expert level. But traits are not everything. Born and raised in a family of knights, she has received rigorous training since she was a child. Unlike Theo, given her personality, she would not have avoided the training, but persevered through it. As I watched Irene swing her wooden sword, she glanced at me while wiping her sweat. So, you're here. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw you wield a sword. Of course, you always refused whenever I asked you to train with me when we were kids. Anyway, start by warming up. Understood. I loosened my body, as I had been taught by Noctur. Upon doing so, Irene tossed me a wooden sword. Then, come at me. That phrase, come at me. I felt like I've been hearing it more often these days. They must see me as someone beneath them. Irene probably didn't mean it that way, but it still hurt my pride. Irene's strength and stamina was at 10. Judging from stats alone, it was worth a shot. Then, I'll go ahead, Irene. I rushed towards her without hesitation. The first move was as big as possible. I swung down the wooden sword toward her, as if trying to cleave her in two. Clang! Irene's eyes widened as she blocked my attack. Then, swiftly letting her wooden sword slide. Whoosh! She aimed for my shoulder. If this had been a real fight, she would have probably gone for my neck. I had the feeling she was holding back. How much she saw me as a powerless person was clear to me in an instant. Huff! I blocked her thrust with my wooden sword and pushed back with all my might. Eek! Taken aback by my unexpected strength, Irene let out a surprised squeak and was pushed back. It seemed like I might actually stand a chance. I'm going to show exactly what I'm capable of. I continued to unleash a barrage of relentless attacks. Chapter ends.